Well, several actually. I mean, many great examples of professionalism and looking after themselves and loyalty to the club. There's plenty of that. Probably the best is Ryan Giggs, you know, and Ryan and Paul Scholes spent 20 years at the club and more in Ryan's case. So you couldn't get better examples than that. But there have been many great professionals over the years that you could quite easily pick one out of about 20.
Well, that's Sir Alex Ferguson's views on that. I have to say, we did talk to the manager about other things as well, and one of them is about away grounds. He's obviously the Premier League's longest-serving manager. And we asked him which was his favourite away ground. Guys, get thinking, because we'll be asking you after this.
Favourite away ground? I always goes down to the record you hold, probably. Got a really good record. Queen's Park Rangers, for instance, the other day has always been a good ground for us when they were back in the Premier Division. We always did a good record there. It's difficult to say. Aston Villa probably is the best. That's the best record we've got, and I think it's always down to that.
Well, Michael, I'll come to you first because you've scored a great goal at Loftus Road. Is it one of your favourite grounds? The fans are right on top of you there, though.
Yeah, it's certainly different to sort of what you get in the Premier League now, with it being the older stadium and a bit smaller. But I really enjoy playing at Highbury. When I was younger, I sort of played one of my first games for West Ham at Highbury, and Arsenal had a really top team then, and I just loved that. I loved that ground. Probably not in terms of results, mind you, like the gaff has gone for the best results, but in terms of, you know, just enjoying it, I'd say Highbury.
Nanny, what about you? Which is your favourite away ground?
I have two. One is Aston Villa, and the other is Arsenal, but I think Arsenal is the one.
Do you do it by results, or do you do it by just the feeling you get when you walk out?
The pitch is fantastic. The ball you play is no skills there. I think if you are a good player, you don't have no skills to play there, and the atmosphere is fantastic. The team always like to play football, and there I think you can express yourself, you enjoy your football.
And what about you?
I think, like Nanny said, Arsenal away. You know, it's a great stadium.
Emirates now, not Highbury.
Emirates now, yeah, not Highbury. But yeah, it's a fantastic stadium, and it's always a good one to play at. But there's also the Reebok Stadium as well, just because I've had the most success there and scoring most goals there. So I'd say there as well, just because I've scored so much there.
Are you saying, Nanny, no excuses at the Emirates then? This weekend, no excuses?
Yeah, of course.
OK, right. What about the ground you least enjoy playing at? You'll have played at some smaller clubs in Carling Cup and FA Cup. Which ground sticks in your memory for being one you don't really want to go back to? Least favourite ground? Any ideas, Michael?
No, it's hard on that. Don't really want to say anyway, do you? Because next time you go, people are going to think you don't fancy it.
All right, we'll move on. We'll move on rather than get you in trouble. What about the Premier League this season? Who do you see as your biggest rivals this season? Noisy neighbours is the obvious answer, isn't it? What do you think? Who's your biggest rivals this season for the title?
Yeah. I think everyone been seeing City being doing so very well, better than the last 2 years. Now they are top of the league, 3 points, but the other teams, you know, we have Tottenham now doing very well as well. They always improve every season, and this season I think they are doing fantastic. And Chelsea is a bit down, but we never know. Still a lot of games and points to fight to.
Well, Michael, Tom on Facebook's asked this question. He said, what do you think of the way Man City's taken control of the Premiership top spot so far with only 16 games still to play?
Yeah, they've done well. You know, you've got to give them credit. They've set an early pace, really, and you know, they had a sort of funny Christmas period, but you know, in some ways they've bounced back. And who's to say what's going to happen? You know, obviously the experience we've gathered over the years, hopefully that'll help us, and only time will tell. But you've got to be impressed by them because, you know, they're top of the league at the moment, and it's up to us to catch them. But we've points-wise, we've had a good season as well. So you know, the sort of bar's been raised, if you like, this season, and we're right there challenging.
And Ashley, Liam Hazelwood from Basingstoke has asked this question. He wants to know who's the best player you've ever played against.
I wouldn't say one player that sticks out in my head. I've obviously played against quite a few good players in the past, you know, for club and country. So I wouldn't say there's just one player that's, that I could pick out. There's so many good players that are out there.
Well, you've all been, you were all signed by Sir Alex Ferguson when you joined Manchester United. We'll have a chat with you about him now. Have to ask, was he a big factor in you joining the club in the first place? Mike, I'll start with you.
Yeah, he's a big factor, but I think just the club as a whole as well, you know, just the size of the club, the history of the club, the sort of principles of the club, and a lot of that is driven by the boss, so it comes as a package really. And like Ash said before, you know, once you find out the club's interested in you, then there's only one way you want to go, and it's the same for any player that has ever stepped through these doors. Once you come here, there's no place like it. And the boss is obviously is a huge part of that.
Ashley, was he a big factor in you joining as well?
Yeah, of course. I think this more what Carol said. You know, he was a man like that has got the will to win. He's a winner, and you know he installs that straight away when you join the club. You come to the club and you want to win, not just games in training. Everyone's a winner on the pitch, and you know you've got that from the manager right the way through the squad, through the staff. Everybody wants to win, and it was a massive factor for me joining the club.
And Nanny, for you, across Europe, is Sir Alex's record well known among footballers? I mean, straight away, did you know who he was and what you were coming to join when you joined?
Sorry,
with Sir Alex, is he players across Europe? Are they aware of his record and what he's done here at Manchester United?
Yeah, I think everyone knows, because when I go to Portugal, when I go play everywhere, I know a lot of players, and everyone talk about him like he's a god here in my Old Trafford, and what he did, and everyone know the way he works is fantastic. What he's doing at the moment with us as players, the young lads, improving a lot is fantastic. And I think there's no one understand football don't know who is Sir Alex Ferguson, what his best things in football. Thank you.
We've still got time for questions, by the way. If you want to send them through, use Twitter, post your question and add the hashtag MULive. A lot of people wanting to know what you think, how you think he still does it at 70. I mean, he still seems to have the energy of a man half his age.
It's incredible. It really is to think, you know, at the age he's at, to be driven and have that determination and desire to, you know, to come into work every day and drive the boys on, and you know, a couple of bad results like we had after Christmas, and you know the boss is the one that picks people up and you know says, don't worry, it's not so bad, we need to go again and we need to be better. And it literally is incredible to know how he does it. Of a club of this size as well, you know, and the pressures that come with it. He's just he is this club.
Well, I've got a very popular question actually coming through on Facebook and Twitter. This from Irene and Hakija on Facebook. When was the last time any of you guys experienced the hairdryer treatment, and what was said? I'm presuming you can't tell us what was said, but when was the last time you've had the hairdryer treatment? You've got to remember, so that must be quite good if you have to have a long think about it.
I don't think it's it's probably, you know, the story comes probably with more strength or more fear than it actually is when it happens, because apparently he was in his earlier days he was a lot worse, but maybe with the age thing he's calmed down a little bit, and maybe it doesn't happen as much or as fierce anymore.
Maybe you're just better behaved.
Maybe that's
doing better, yeah. Nanny, ever had the hairdryer?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. Is it as bad as we imagine?
It's normal.
It's normal for you to have the hairdryer?
Yeah. I accept because they expect more from me, and of course if sometimes I don't do the way he expect, it's normal he come to me to say something.
Ashley, since you joined, have you had it?
I don't think so.
Should we ask the others if you've had it?
No, I don't think you have you?
Yeah, no, I don't think I have. So.
No. You're letting them bed in a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's like waiting. So maybe when I come back from this injury, he might throw the hairdryer out there. But no, I think it's like what Carol said. I think he's mellow. Like speaking to the players, I think he's just calmed down. So.
As fans, when you watch a game and if you're losing in the first half, fans always have the belief that as long as Fergie can do his team talk at half-time, we can come back from anything. Is that fair to say? Is that how you feel as well? You know, if you've got half-time, you get your heads together and you can come back and win it?
Yeah, we always feel we've got a chance, even, you know, whatever the score is, we always feel we've got a chance to come back. But I think the thing with the boss is, you know, sometimes you go in at half-time and you expect them to go mad because you haven't played well. And sometimes that's the time that he doesn't, and he sort of encourages and gets behind you. And then there's times when you think we've played well and we go in all happy, and then, you know, he comes at you and lets you know what he thinks. And it's that sort of the element of surprise and the element of wanting to please him all the time. I think that drives the players on. But there's certainly the sort of the belief of you know, it's never over till it's over. It certainly comes from him.
Just this is Richie Fitzgerald from Tremor in County Waterford. He's got a question for you, Nanny. He says, who would you like to see replace Sir Alex Ferguson when he eventually retires?
I don't know, one who can keep the quality higher like him is doing now, but have to be one of the best in the world, or Guardiola, Mourinho, so have to be the top, very top coach, because it's not easy to do the same as he's doing in this club.